Hey guys, look at that sunset. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's take a walk. Let's see what's in the fridge today.
Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews. Today we got us an imported beer here. Rico sent me this beer. This is from Haand Bryggeriet, HAandBryggeriet, and they're out of Norway. I've not seen this beer here in Virginia, this part of Virginia anyway. It may be here. I don't go over to the import section because those beers are really, really pricey in this part of Virginia. And you have to go to a craft beer store to even find this kind of beer. The go-to stores, Kroger's and Wally World and all those places, don't carry this stuff. They do not. They do not. So Rico, thanks again my brother for sending me this beer. I don't get to review a lot of imported beers, and a lot of subscribers ask me, why don't you do this from this country, this from this country, this from this country? Because they're so pricey. They're very expensive beers to buy here. And with all of the other beers that are produced in America, I just don't get over to the import section that often when I do go to the craft beer store, because the beers are so expensive. And this is a Russian Imperial Stout coming in at 9%. Fairly big beer, not a huge beer, but I'm sure it's a pricey beer. Let me look on my paperwork here that Rico has sent me and see if he has anything. Hamburger, Odin's Dark Force Imperial Stout brewed with wheat malt and wheat yeast. $8 is what he paid for it. No date. And I thought those beers, when they are sold over across the pond, they're required to have a date on them somewhere. But when they're shipping them out to the United States, which does not require them to have a date, they can get away with not putting a date on it. But this being a Russian Imperial Stout at 9% is not critical. I mean, it's not like it's a hoppy beer and the hops are going to fade or something and it's going to fade over time. This is a Russian Imperial Stout. This is going to keep for a long, long time. Not super long, 9%, 10 or 15 years. I don't know if I'm going to keep it more than 15 years or not. But you probably could, if you sell it correctly. And this beer is sweating profusely. The Double Extreme Imperial Wheat Stout. 9%. I don't see anything written on it as far as any dating at all. It does have a barcode wherever he bought it at. And it says, this Imperial really strikes back from a strange country far, far away comes the only Imperial Wheat Stout in the known universe. Not a lot of people use wheat in their Imperial Stouts. It says here, once again, the Haand Brewery, I guess it's how it's pronounced, Haand Brewery, which is Bryggeriet. I guess it's Haand Brewery. I'm not from Norway. I'm just saying and reading what the description is. 4 guys brewing in their spare time on an absurdly small scale boldly goes where no brewery has gone before. So we will see. And this is bigger than a 12-ounce bottle. It may be written on there somewhere. It may be a 500 milliliter or whatever. But a lot of these imported beers, when they come across the pond, they're in a different size bottle, 11.2 up to whatever. Rico, thanks again, my brother, for sending this to me. I don't do a lot of imported beers because of all the great beers that are being produced in the United States, and there's more and more and more and more and more and more. Did I say more? Even more every day. So we're gaining strength, guys. We're grabbing the macro drinkers and we're getting them into craft beer. That's what we want to do. We don't want to support AB InBev and Satco Miller, and they're getting ready to merge together, and they control everything. They have since Prohibition, guys. I tell you this all the time. They control the distribution in many states, and if they want to put your beers out there, they will. If they don't, they won't. They'd rather sell their macro lager, bull horse piss beers rather than have these beers sitting out there. So that's their bread and butter, and they sell tons and tons of those beers to the innocent, I call them teeny boppers, people that drink that kind of shit just to get shit-faced. Oh yeah, I can buy 18 or 24 of these for $15, $18 instead of paying that much for one beer. Yeah, we know what your intentions are. You just want to buy a bunch of damn crappy beer to get shit-faced. That's the whole idea there. You don't care about taste. It doesn't matter what it tastes like. It doesn't matter if it tastes like horse piss. You just want to get drunk. So they will wise up. They will. Like everybody does, and they'll realize there are a lot better options out there, guys. And I hate to be a beer snob and degrade them for that. I'm not going to degrade them for drinking that crap, but I might suggest to them if I'm in a bar or a brew pub somewhere, well, try this, try that, and try this. It'll be close to what you're drinking now, but it'll have a lot more taste, and it won't have that adjuncts and rice and corn and all that rest of that crappy shit that's going to make you feel like doo-doo the next day. So some listen, some don't. Some of them are hard to grab a hold of. Some of them you want to grab by the neck and strangle them, but they'll figure it out. Maybe, maybe not. That's the way it is. So I'm glad I'm over that, and I enjoy these great craft beers that I either purchased or either Rico or Brandon and all the rest of you guys, Jeff and some of you other guys, send me these. I have not seen this beer because I have not been into the import section over at Martin's at the Barrel Chest for a long time because those beers are so pricey. It costs a little bit more for these beers because they have to ship them across the pond. And if you can buy like an old Rasputin or something else that's a 9%er, you can buy a 4-pack a lot of times for what one of these will cost you. That's the way it is. You got to pay a little bit more for that. And being in the cabinet business, and granite's the same way. If you buy granite from a quarry that comes from the United States, it's going to be a lot less than what you're going to pay from a quarry that's in Denmark or the Middle East or South America, because you got the transportation costs involved in that. So that's how the real world is. That's the way it is. That's the bottom line, guys. That's the bottom line. So let's get on with this, and I don't want it to be a massively long video. Commercial description on this: it's a 9%, like I told you, double Imperial wheat stout. This Imperial really strikes back from a strange country far away. It's basically the same thing. I read it off the bottle here. Food pairing for this style of beer, it says general chocolate dessert digestive. Imperial stout. Glassware, pint, Becker, non tumbler snifter. Got my favorite snifter, and can be sold for a long period of time. So it is picking a time. It is time. Let's get the cap off this bad boy. From Norway. Guys, a lot of my subscribers complain, you don't review the beers from his country or this country, this country. No, I don't. Not a lot. Because they're so damn expensive here. Oh man, look at this. This is pitch black coming out. This is used motor oil coming out of this bottle. I'm going to get it all in there. I am. Yeah! Oh, and I spilled it on myself, on everything. Alright. Over to the light. There is none, guys. It's pitch black. I'm going to get my lips on it. Rich roasted malt, coffee, chocolate. That's delicious, and I got a freaking mess right here, guys. I have poured it all over my damn dumbass self. Oh, that's tasty. Oh, that's delicious. Final beer of the evening for me. Rich roasted malt, almost to the burnt characteristics. Caramel, toffee, hints of dark fruit, bittersweet chocolate, coffee. Very, very tasty. Very, very tasty. Wow. Very delicious. Guys, like I said, a lot of times these beers like this come from other countries. They're hidden gems. And this is one of them. Wow. That's delicious. Alcohol is super well hidden for 9%. This beer is delicious. Well, let's go out and fire up a cigar and sip on this for a little bit, and we'll come back and we'll see where this one ends up. Alright guys, I'm back. I sipped on about 30 minutes or so. Got it all over my damn dumb ass. Trying to pour all that big beer into one glass. Very tasty beer. A very nice rendition of an Imperial Stout. Unlike what the American brewers try to do with a 12, 15, 18, 20 plus percent ABV beer. They did this at 9% and it's very, very nice. The only way this beer could be any better if they put it in a barrel, especially a bourbon barrel. Give it just a little more taste, especially in this style of beer, being an Imperial Stout. A Russian Imperial Stout on top of that. Very nice. Very, very nice beer. The caramel and toffee, dark fruits, hints of bittersweet chocolate, dates, raisins, plums, 9%. Very well done. Very well done. I looked at the bottle, guys, when I come back. Didn't see any kind of dating on it, and I wish they would put some kind of vintage on there. Y'all know how I am about that. Is this a 2013 edition, 2014, 2015, 2016 edition of the beer? I would like to see them do that. And when they export these beers out to the United States and don't require them to do that, they don't. And this gives them a longer shelf life. That's all the reason they do not do that. If they sold this beer in Norway, it would have to have a date on it somewhere. So that's the only fuss I've got about this beer. It's a very, very nice, very well done beer. So I enjoyed this beer. Very, very nice. A great beer for the final beer of the evening. Alcohol is super well hidden. Very tasty. Very, very tasty beer. Final chug. We can't leave that. And like I said earlier, guys, these imported beers are a little more pricier than the domestic stuff that you can buy that's brewed in the United States. Another reason why I don't go to that section a lot of times when I do go to the craft beer store, because the beers are a little bit more pricey, and there are so many different beers coming out from the American breweries that are very, very tasty. This is a very, very tasty beer too. First time I've had anything from these guys, as far as I know, as far as I can recollect. Very impressive. Very, very nice beer. As far as I'm concerned, I do think this is an A beer, guys. I would like to see some kind of vintage written on it, so we'll know what year it was done. If you wanted to do a vertical, a 2013 or a 2016 side by side to see what the differences are, see how well the older one has matured and combined and all that kind of stuff. So very tasty. I enjoyed this. I would buy this beer again, guys. I would think this beer is a very pricey beer for Rico to buy. Rico, thanks again, my brother, for sending it to me. I would say this is probably a $12 to $15 bottle of beer. I would not doubt that a bit. Very, very tasty. And you can get a lot from a 9%er, and a lot of times a lot more from a 9%er than you can from the American breweries that want to do a 12, 15, 18, 20% beer, which are super boozy when they go up to that ABV range. So, very well done. Like I said, the only way this beer could be better if it put it in a bourbon barrel for 6, 8 months, a year or so. If they'd done that, it would probably be a $25 bottle of beer. So, with that being said, guys, for me, I think it's an A beer. I do think it's an A beer. So, I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give it to 8. I'm gonna give it to 8. I think it's an A beer, but I think it's at the bottom of the A range with the information I've got on the bottle, with no vintage and no IBUs or anything like that. We need that information. We do. So, and being a date Nazi that I am, I want to see that kind of information on the bottles or something printed on the bottle. And I looked at the bottle when I come back, and I could not find anything on it. So, very tasty beer. A great beer for the final beer of the evening. A great beer to cellar if you wanted to do that. This beer will keep 5, 10, even 15 years or even longer. So, Rico, once again, thanks to my brother for sending this to me. Numeric rating on this one, guys, I would probably give it a 92. I do think it's an A beer. Just want a little more information on the label or on the bottle somewhere to let me know what I'm drinking. So, over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate is 88 and a very good range. It is a very good beer, but I think it's a tad better than an 88. And over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says 98 overall and 80 in the style. So we got a 88, 92, and a 98 from guys over there at Rate Beer. So enjoyable, very nice beer. A great beer to pick up if you can get your hands on this. A lot of the beers that come from across the pond are very limited in distribution. Like I said, I haven't been over. This beer may be available over at the Barrel Chest from Martin and the guys, but I haven't been over there in so long. I'm not sure. So I do appreciate Rico picking this up and spending his hard-earned money on this beer and sending it to me. So if you had this one from Haand Bryggeriet, HAandBryggeriet, Haand Bryggeriet. That's how I pronounce it. Being the country boy that I am, I'm probably butchering that all to hell. If you had this one from them, let me know what you think of it. Very tasty beer. A very nice beer. A nice beer to share, especially with your shirt, which I poured half of it on my shirt. Let me know what you think of it, guys. If you've had it, let me know what you think, and come on back tomorrow. Let's see what we can dig out of the fridge. Hope I won't pour it all over my damn dumb ass self then. See you then.